It's all about the football now till 3:45. If you want Millwall against Leeds in the Championship, then that is on 5 Live Sports Extra. Here on 5 Live, we'll keep you up to date with all the goals as they go in across the Football League, and also at Tamworth, where Crawley could be promoted from the Blue Square Bet Premier this afternoon. We've also got reporters of all the Premier League games, and our commentary comes from Old Trafford. Manchester United could go 10 clear if they beat Fulham this afternoon. Here's Simon Brotherton.
Thank you, Mark. Hello, everybody. 7 points clear with 7 to play. Manchester United aim to turn their lead over Arsenal into double figures here against a Fulham side who've won once at Old Trafford since 1963. It's a beautiful spring day in Manchester. The sun's shining, it's t-shirt weather, and the pitch looks immaculate. The scene was rather more like August than April. The stage certainly set then. Wayne Rooney starts his suspension, as you may have heard during the week, but his absence is one of 8 changes from Wednesday's starting 11 at Chelsea. Only Vidic, Evra and Valencia remain. Here's the team. Kuszczak in goal. At the back, O'Shea, Smalling, Vidic and Evra. Then it's Scholes, Gibson and Anderson, with Nani, Berbatov and Valencia leading the attack. Fulham have pulled well clear of trouble in recent weeks, losing only 2 of their last 11 matches. Damien Duff's missing today because of a sore Achilles, while Simon Davies turned his ankle in training. It means that there's a first start for Gael Kakuta, who's on loan from Chelsea. Here's the team in full then. Schwarzer in goal. Across the back it's Baird, Hughes, Hangeland and Salcedo. Then we've got Kakuta, Etuhu, Murphy and Dempsey, with Dembele and Bobby Zamora back in the team, having missed so much of the season. Zamora with 2 goals in the 3-0 win over Blackpool last Sunday. We're almost ready to go here. Jimmy Armfield alongside me for this one. Jimmy, what chance to give Fulham here? I mean, they're in reasonable form, aren't they? And United have made a lot of changes.
Well, they have made a lot of changes. When you think, from the great win they had at Chelsea, there's no Rooney, Giggs, Ferdinand, Carrick, Park. There's not many teams with that sort of luxury that Manchester United have, but they've still got a very strong lineup. And you've got to remember as well that Fulham have only won 1 game away from the cottage all season, in the Premier League, that is. And also they pulled themselves into mid-table, but really this is a tough one for them, and I still think Manchester United should have enough really in this game. But if they did win, it's that point you made, Simon, 10 points clear, catch me if you can.
And we're just underway here at Old Trafford. Manchester United kicking from left to right as we look. They're defending the Stretford end of the ground, and Kuszczak rather slices the ball. It spins up in the air, bounces in front of the technical areas, though still on the pitch. Fulham in their traditional colours as well. Fulham white shirts, black shorts, white socks. Manchester United red shirts, white shorts and black socks. And Fulham on the attack early here. Shot coming in, beaten away by Kuszczak, who dives on the ball. It was Gael Kakuta very early in the match here, inside the first minute of the game, with a shot from 25 yards. And the Manchester United goalkeeper had to be on his toes there.
He did. It was actually quite a good save. It just lacked a bit of power, the shot. Actually, Manchester United's defence was caught there. That's the area between, it was Vidic, I think it was, and Evra on the left-hand side. But nevertheless, that was a chance.
Everett rolling the ball forward in the sunshine. Just a thin strip of the pitch on the near side, the Manchester United right in shade, and also the goal area away to our left. The rest of the pitch bathed in beautiful sunshine as Nani comes forward through the middle of the pitch. He's tackled by Etuhu. Now Dempsey, the American, collects possession, and Salcedo is involved. Nani has stayed on the ground actually midway inside the Fulham half, and now he's picked himself up. Danny Murphy just stood there, didn't move an inch until Nani was up, and now Fulham carry on. Moussa Dembele, the Belgian, away to the right hand side, and Kakuta causing problems already for Evra, but Evra stands his ground this time, and it breaks loose for United, and Nani has the ball. He strokes it along the grass away to the left, where Evra collects possession and sends one flying through the air from left to right to the near side to Valencia, who's midway inside the Fulham half. Chance to take on Salcedo for the first time today. Towards the byline he goes, and the Mexican comes across and slides in. The ball actually didn't have the energy to cross the line there, if you noticed, Jimmy, but yep. Salcedo finally decided to help it on
Valencia
its way.
Really was just testing the full back there, because Salcedo, to see what if he's got sort of pace he's got, and he stood up to it well, I thought.
Yes, he could be puffing and blowing a bit this afternoon. Salcedo up against Valencia. O'Shea fit again and back in the team, just inadvertently puts it out of play. Let's head off to Chelsea for the first time this afternoon. They're at home to Wigan Athletic, and Mike Sewell's there.
Well, given that Wigan have conceded 14 goals in their last 2 matches against Chelsea, it might not be surprising that Chelsea almost took the lead inside 40 seconds. Drogba got away from Alcaraz, squared the ball for Lampard, who misfired when he normally fires at goal. Ramirez didn't expect to receive the ball, and he couldn't finish either. It's still Chelsea 0, Wigan 0.
Thanks, Mike. Manchester United in possession here at Old Trafford with 3 minutes played, 0-0 on 5 Live Sport. A reminder, full coverage of the Grand National from half-time onwards in this game, and then after the National and the aftermath of the big race, back here to Old Trafford for the conclusion of this match. It's Anderson now, playing for the first time since being injured against Crawley in the FA Cup a couple of months ago. Loses out to Kakuta, who's been very lively here in the opening exchanges.
Yes, I thought they might miss Duff, because I think he's an important player to them. He just gives them that little bit of balance, but anyway, he's done quite well at the start.
Fulham attacking now up to the edge of the penalty area with Bobby Zamora on the right hand side, but as he chested the ball down, he showed a little too much of it to the Manchester United defence, and they're able to get the ball, and Gibson now strokes it through the centre circle. De Valencia on the near side, the right. Now deep inside the Fulham half. Into the box it goes. It's headed away by Aaron Hughes. Berbatov behind him. Nani with a shot. It hits Hughes on the back and then arcs over the top of the goal. First corner of the match goes to the home side with less than 4 minutes played.
Yes, it was a nice little move. It started off actually in the left full-back position, but they got the ball away. It came across to Nani. He's got the shot in. And Hughes just threw himself at it. He's hit him and got over the top. Corner kick to Manchester United. Quite a bright start here.
Yeah, bright start, and not just because the sun's out. Manchester United, such a threat at home. They've taken 49 points out of the last 51 available here at Old Trafford. Not a great corner from Valencia. It bobbles along the ground into the edge of the 6-yard box, and Danny Murphy collects possession. Back into the penalty area and cleared first time towards the halfway line by Salcedo. Smalling steps in. Gibson collects possession. Smalling back in the team today. I suppose no surprise, Jimmy, that with Rio Ferdinand coming in for the Chelsea match after 9 weeks out, 3 games in a week would have been rather a lot.
Yeah, so he'd be looking to leave him in, for the next game, I think. I think he showed his hand that, Ferdinand, when fit, will be in.
Valencia down the right towards the byline, testing Salcedo, and he's won another corner. Yeah, Smalling's going to come up for this corner and take his place in the heart of the penalty area, and Sir Alex was saying that he certainly had words with Chris Smalling before leading him out of the match against Chelsea, because he has done so well since coming into the team, and lots more to come from him, no doubt, in the forthcoming seasons. 0-0 here between Manchester United and Fulham. No goals in the Premier League anywhere, and Valencia with a second Duff corner in the space of about 2 minutes. Little sharp for a handball, but nothing doing, and away come Fulham with Gael Kakuta. Slight, fairly short figure compared to some of the others on the pitch. He switches the play right on the halfway line now. It's with Moussa Dembele. It's been a while since he scored in the Premier League, since September against Wolves. Etuhu away to the right hand side as Fulham push forward now, midway inside the Manchester United half. Dembele, 25 yards from goal, looks to tee himself up, shoots, and it's just tipped behind by Kuszczak, diving low to his left. The ball was on the ground, but it was a fingertip that puts it behind for a corner.
Yes, it's quite a useful play, Dembele. He comes in off both sides. He came in from the right side there, hit it with his left foot. I thought really Anderson should have tackled him. He backed off, and he got a shot in from 20 yards. Kuszczak's put it round the corner.
Fulham corner, right-hand side. In it comes, and Aaron Hughes heads it on. And Sir Alex Ferguson, who's sitting in the director's box just to our left, was on the phone after that shot came. He was straight on the telephone down to the dugout down below. He's still serving his 5-match ban from the touchline.
I think it was the way his players backed off more than anything. Dembele came in from the right-hand side, and they all sort of backed off into the penalty area. That's what he'll be on about.
First goal in the Championship scored by Corey Evans of Hull. They're 1-up at Watford. No goals in any of our other featured matches, in case you've just tuned in. Big win for Everton, 3-0 at Wolverhampton Wanderers in the lunchtime kickoff. Wolves hoping to pull clear of the relegation zone. Well, it's not going to happen today. Gibson in possession for Manchester United. Scholes in the heart of the midfield. Finds Smalling now. Ball played up towards the halfway line on the Manchester United right. Valencia comes out of the shade into the sunlight here as Scholes floats it forward. Berbatov will chase. One bounce and it's through to Mark Schwarzer, the goalkeeper for Fulham. There's been a goal at Scunthorpe in the match against the leaders Queen's Park Rangers in the Championship. Juliet Berrington.
And it's taken the Championship leaders just 7 minutes to get their noses in front. It's Scunthorpe 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1. The goal scorer Rob Hulse with a close range header, pinpoint cross. The Championship's runaway leaders, they've rolled into town in style. Scunthorpe 0, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Thanks, Juliet. Great start then for Neil Warnock's team today. 1 up in the early going there, and 0-0 here between Manchester United and Fulham. Manchester United hoping to go 10 points clear at the top of the Barclays Premier League this evening. Arsenal not playing today. Fulham with the throw, midway inside their own half. Avram and Joel Glazer among those in the crowd, sitting just behind Sir Alex Ferguson. I saw them wandering along the edge of the pitch with David Gill 2 or 3 hours before the match. They've got a bit of a dousing by the sprinklers, I have to tell you, as Fulham push forward once again. Bobby Zamora, right hand edge of the penalty area. Chance for the shot. Oh, and he didn't really catch that properly at all. And it just skews wide of the goal, but it threatened to open up there for Fulham, and it looked like a half-decent shooting opportunity.
Oh, it's a good chance, yes. There's a lot of talk about Zamora last week, playing at home, and got himself a couple of goals, but, well, that was a chance for him there. And again, it was Dembele who started that off. It was a very good run. Ball just flicked onto Zamora, and he's put it wide. They've had 2 good chances already, Fulham.
I was going to say, Jimmy, 1 or 2 early warning signs for the Manchester United defence here. Fulham have caused them 1 or 2 problems here in the opening 8 minutes of the match. Kuszak already forced into a couple of saves. He's got the ball on the edge of his own penalty area now, and the home crowd just a little quiet at the moment as the ball is nodded down by Berbatov, top scorer in the Premier League with 20 this season. Not bad for a player who's not guaranteed a place in the starting 11.
That's right.
Schwarzer, dressed from head to toe in yellow, just knocks it out to Hughes. Hughes finds Murphy. It's a little exchange between the pair of them.
It's quite an experienced team, Fulham. They've got the players they've got quite a lot of experience all right the way through the team, really, and they've got a good blend. And they've established themselves once again, really in the middle. Of course,
yeah, they didn't panic, did they? I mean, it wasn't looking so good for them earlier in the season, was it? And Mark Hughes was under a bit of pressure, but they and he didn't panic. Ball up into the air. Bobby Zamora goes for it, and it's with Nemanja Vidic. 0-0 here at Old Trafford between Manchester United and Fulham. Let's head off to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea playing Wigan. Mike Sewell.
It's still Chelsea 0, Wigan 0, but Chelsea have had 2 good chances so far. The first inside the first minute when Lampard miskicked after being fed by Drogba, and it was Drogba again who fed Malouda, whose shot was smothered by Al Habsi. Chelsea 0, Wigan 0.
And to White Hart Lane. Spurs against Stoke. Simon Mann.
It's still 0-0. Reasonably solid start by Stoke. A couple of efforts from Spurs. A Bale's shot just outside the penalty area, a low one to the left, and well saved by Begovic, and then Bale with a cross. Shawcross got there before Pavlyuchenko and turned it behind for a corner. It's Spurs 0, Stoke 0.
There's a goal at Sunderland. Peter Slater.
It's been scored by El Mohammadi of Sunderland. I don't really think he realised the ball had gone into the net. It was a cross from Asamoah Gyan on the left-hand side. It took a slight deflection. He went up with the defender. It came off the back of his head, and I think he was as surprised as anybody that it's his first goal of the season and Sunderland's first for 449 minutes. Sunderland 1, West Brom 0.
Fulham on the attack, left-hand side. Salcido tries to get the ball in, but John O'Shea makes the block, and it's a fairly bright start here from Mark Hughes' team.
I think Fulham have been the better team so far. They've had 2 what I would call pretty decent chances. Good save by Kuszak, the other one that Zamora's put wide. I think Alex Ferguson will just be wondering a little bit at the moment that his team's going to snap out of it.
Now Manchester United on the attack on the left, midway inside the Fulham half with Berbatov, holds the play up, rolls it underneath his foot, finds Nani. Nani being watched very, very closely by Chris Baird, but he just evades the lunging challenge of Murphy. He's away from Ituhu, just behind the D. Little poke and exchange with Anderson. It's promising. It's Berbatov. It's 1-0. It's a superb goal for Manchester United, created by Nani and Anderson and buried by Berbatov. United 1, Fulham 0, 11 minutes played.
Well, you've got to give credit to Nani for that, really. He's sort of coming in from the left-hand side, and he must have dribbled around about 3 players. I kept waiting for the challenge, really, to come in as much as anything else. There was as of half challenges, no real challenge come on. Little touch on by Anderson, back to Nani, onto Berbatov on the left-hand side, and really, he wasn't going to miss that chance. So Manchester United, after really looking second best, have got the goal.
Goal here at Old Trafford, a goal at White Hart Lane as well for Simon Mann.
Well, sent off in the week, he's redeemed himself to some extent with the early goal for Spurs in the 11th minute, crossed by Pavlyuchenko, and Peter Crouch was there with a header. Spurs 1, Stoke 0.
Fulham get us underway here, and they've got work to do already. It took just 11 minutes for Manchester United to take the lead here. Meantime, let's head off to the Reebok Stadium. Bolton Wanderers playing West Ham. Conor McNamara.
Bolton 0, West Ham 0. West Ham have never won a game at this stadium. Avram Grant has gone for Keane and Piquion up front, but it's Bolton who've done all the attacking so far. Both Sturridge and Cahill have been close but wide. Bolton 0, West Ham 0.
Hughes got into all sorts of bother there just outside his own penalty area. Berbatov was all over him like a rash, and Schwarzer came smartly off his line to whack the ball out of play on the far side.
Yes, I've been watching the defenders, really, the Fulham's defenders. That's about the third one who slipped in these conditions. They have a tendency to put the sprinklers on here, of course, before, but he definitely slipped then. Berbatov could have been in with a chance.
Goal in the Championship, Barnsley 0, Bristol City 1. Marvin Elliott with the goal, and Stuart Fleetwood has put Hereford 1 up at home to Chesterfield. Manchester United with a throw on the far side, leading by 1-0. Let's head off to Ewood Park. Blackburn against Birmingham. Ian Brown.
Yes, big game this at the bottom. Still Blackburn 0, Birmingham 0. Early threat from Blackburn. Jermaine Jones fell over but still managed to get a shot away just wide of the far post, and then Samba's header was wide from a Pedersen free kick. I think Foster had it covered anyway. For Birmingham, great acceleration from Cameron Jerome, but his cross was too deep and unsupported in the middle. So still Blackburn 0, Birmingham 0.
Fulham advancing over the halfway line on the right hand side, just regrouping, having conceded that goal to Dimitar Berbatov after 11 minutes here. The ball worked through the centre circle to Breda Hangeland, who's moved forward now into the Manchester United half. Murphy is there in support. Bobby Zamora being watched very, very closely by Smalling. Scholes sticks his foot in and the ball goes all the way back to Kuszczak.
Yeah, so just taking a little bit of the sting out of Fulham, I think, that goal, and they've got to try and pick themselves up, use the right word. They do need to regroup again as much as anything. They've been stung by that goal. Let's see what they've got in them now.
Well, here they come now with Dixon Ituhu just outside the area. Showed far too much of that to Paul Scholes. Scholes collects the ball, rolls it under his foot, and Manchester United should get it clear. Hartlepool 0, Yeovil 1. Jonathan Obika with the goal. Cheltenham 0, Rotherham 1. Jason Taylor and Jonathan Hayes has put Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1 up at Kilmarnock. Talking of which, the Clydesdale Bank, SPL, Celtic playing St Mirren today, and at Celtic Park for us, Roddy Forsyth.
And Anthony Stokes, just as you came to us, caught offside right in front of goal when he thought he was about to put Celtic ahead. That's their first chance of the game. St Mirren may have made 5 changes to the team that scored half a dozen goals this last week, but they've been the more adventurous side. Still, at the moment, Celtic 0, St Mirren 0.
Well, West Ham United starting the day in the relegation zone. They're at Bolton this afternoon. There's been a goal at the Reebok for Conor McNamara.
And it's Bolton who have taken the lead. Bolton 1, West Ham 0. Daniel Sturridge has scored a real peach of a goal, a curling effort to the top corner beyond the despairing dive of Robert Green, but it's the aftermath of the goal that's the big talking point. Mark Noble, the West Ham midfielder, ran back into his penalty area and, to my eyes, punched his own goalkeeper in the chest. Green grabbed hold of Noble. It reminds you of Lee Boyer and Kieran Dyer all those years ago. Not quite as violent. Upson came in and separated them. I don't think even a yellow card was shown. 1-0 to Bolton.
Well, extraordinary goings on at the Reebok Stadium. Just shows you what pressure can do when you're at the bottom at the business end of the season, Jimmy.
Certainly can. You know, they're building up to these games now, you know, and I think the thing is amongst the players that, you know, the teams at the bottom particularly, they've got to stick together. Players have got to stick together. The last thing you need is something like that.
Barnet 1, Crewe 0. Daniel Leach with the goal, and Morecambe 1, Burton Albion 0. Chris McCready putting Morecambe ahead. And let's get an update from Doncaster. Dave Woods.
We have just literally had a goal. It's Doncaster 0, Cardiff 1. Chris Burke, the goal scorer, totally and utterly against the run of play. Jay Bothroyd taken to the edge of the penalty area, backheeled by him, and Chris Burke lashed it in through the goalkeeper Gary Woods. But Doncaster don't deserve that. It's Doncaster 0, Cardiff 1.
Cheers, Dave. Fulham in possession, but you've not missed anything while we've been going around the grounds. Fulham, as Jimmy was saying, just regrouping a little bit, having conceded that goal. They're in possession, but they haven't really done much with it for the last 5 minutes. Murphy in possession now, swings a pass away to the right-hand side to the fullback Baird. Baird with a high, deep cross beyond the far post. Bobby Zamora heads it down, but it was very comfortable for Kuszczak.
Yeah, it's a good run by Baird down the right-hand side, and it was a good cross right onto the back post, onto Bobby Zamora. But that really was a tame header. I don't think he was quite sure whether to head it back across the 6-yard box or head it, you know, at the goal, and in the end he didn't do either, and it was a simple pick-up for Kuszczak.
In the SPL, Aberdeen 0, Hibs 1. Akpo Soji with the goal after a quarter of an hour. In the Championship, the leaders Queen's Park Rangers 1-0 up at Scunthorpe. Let's go to the New Den. Millwall playing Leeds United. Will Perry.
It's still Millwall 0, Leeds 0, Simon. Both with their eyes on the Premier League, both in good form. A great atmosphere, great crowd, no real chances to tell you about yet. A huge travelling support over to my left. Leeds fans with their tops off, enjoying the sunshine. It's still Millwall 0, Leeds 0.
Sixth meeting, 7th at the City Ground. Forest against Reading. Pat Murphy.
0-0 here. Forest simply have to win this game to stay in contention for promotion. Reading, though, playing like the home side. Long just now, crafty little header to Moncey, who fluffed his shot long earlier, dispossessed at the vital moment by a good tackle from Chambers. Forest 0, Reading 0.
Fulham still having a good share of the match, and Baird has got possession and lots of space on the right hand side, just on the halfway line, rolls it back in towards Aaron Hughes. Hughes forward to Bobby Zamora, who's come deeper, now playing it along the ground to the left hand side, and Salcido midway inside the Manchester United half. It's his turn to turn the tables on Valencia. He does so. His curling cross goes beyond the far post. Kuszak leaves it down to the left hand corner flag for Manchester United. Evra goes for the ball and he concedes the throw in. So Fulham now back onto the front foot, having conceded that goal. Kakuta sends one curling way beyond everyone. One bounce and it's behind for a goal kick.
He's a pretty confident lad. I've never seen Kakuta before. Good left foot on him, but he's playing on the right hand side. He just overhit that, but he has a little bit of zip in his game.
Let's get an update from Tamworth. They're playing Crawley Town in the Blue Square Conference Premier. A reminder, Crawley will win the title if they win that match today. Chris Dennis is there for us.
Yes, 0-0 so far, Simon. I would add that a draw or even defeat might be enough for Crawley if results elsewhere go their way. As you say, looking to reach the Football League for the first time in their 115-year history. Nearly 1,000 fans, and as we speak, the ball's gone into the net, but it's disallowed for offside, so false alarm there. 1,000 fans away to my left, enjoying the sunshine here in Staffordshire, have come up from West Sussex. The champagne is on ice. I would bet that it will be flowing by 5 o'clock this afternoon. It's 0-0.
Berbatov in possession now for Manchester United down the right. It's round Hangeland, up to the right-hand angle of the penalty area, in support, inside the penalty area. It's Anderson who shoots and it's wide. And it's a goal kick to Fulham. There's been a goal at White Hart Lane. Tottenham playing Stoke. Simon Mann.
And Spurs are 2 up. Luka Modric has got the second goal. Neat build-up by Spurs, although I think Stoke gave Pavlyuchenko too much time to control it and then lay it off just on the edge of the penalty area. He led it off to Modric, who took it inside the box and rolled it past Begovic. Crouch with the first, Modric with the second. Spurs 2, Stoke 0.
Tell you what, Jimmy, it was nearly 2-0 here to Manchester United.
It should have been
it?
2-0. It should have been 2-0. I mean, it's a lovely play by Berbatov. He went round Hamid along as though he wasn't there. Pulled it back to Anderson on his left foot, no more than 15 yards out, plumb centre, and he's actually screwed the shot wide. What a chance for Manchester United.
Not sure there have been any more punch-ups in the West Ham United penalty area, but I think there's been another goal at the Reebok Stadium for Conor McNamara.
Oh, there might be punch-ups later on, maybe in the dressing room. Bolton 2, West Ham 0. The Korean Chung Young Lee, who's hardly the tallest player in the Premier League, has risen in the penalty area to head in Petrov's cross beyond Robert Green. 26 minutes on the clock. West Ham already 2-0 down, away from home, and still inside the relegation zone. Bolton 2, West Ham 0.
Thanks, Connor. Fulham on the attack. Dembele laying the ball off to Clint Dempsey just on the 18-yard line. 2 Manchester United defenders are there, and O'Shea and Valencia combined to get the ball away, but Dembele's a strong player. Clint Dempsey wins it back. Then it's rolled by Salcido to the halfway line. Hangeland leaves it for Murphy, who just drops deep to collect possession. It's with the Norwegian Hangeland again. He scored at both ends of the field the last time these two teams met. He finds Salcido on the left. Salcido now taking on John O'Shea. Fit again, back in the United side. Salcido's cross is plucked from the air by Kuszak, and Jimmy Armfield lets out a groan.
Well, I mean, so he got himself in a good position. That's about the third time he's done it, Salcido. And the cross is really poor.
3 more goals to tell you about. Dagenham and Redbridge 1, Notts County 0, MK Dons 1, Carlisle 0, and in the Championship, Derby 0, Coventry City 1. Aaron Gunnarsson with the goal for Coventry, and Middlesbrough have taken the lead at Sheffield United. Matthew Bates with the goal. Manchester United leading Fulham by 1-0 here on 5 Live Sport. A reminder, we've got the Grand National live, full coverage coming up from half-time in the football here. We're live at Old Trafford at the moment, and Dimitar Berbatov's goal separates the two sides, although I have to say that Fulham have played well so far. And
they've played just a bit of belief, I think, somehow. I think the goal jolted them a little bit. They've seemed to have settled around that. They've had every bit as much as the possession. But That's not enough, of course.
And the two who gives the ball away. The first goal of the afternoon at the City Ground has gone in. Pat Murphy.
It's gone to Reading and it's gone to Ian Hart. And how many times in his long career has Ian Hart scored with his left foot from a set piece? Long won a free kick on the edge of the box, much to the disgust of Chambers. Hart stepped up. He's one of the best in the professional game from that range. Forest 0, Reading 1.
Thanks, Pat. We're almost at the midway point of the first half here at Old Trafford. A reminder, Everton won 3-0 at Wolves in the lunchtime match. Chelsea 0, Wigan 0 is the latest score. Bolton Wanderers 2, West Ham 0. Blackburn 0, Birmingham 0. Sunderland 1, West Brom 0. And Tottenham Hotspur 2, Stoke City 0. It's goalless at Celtic. They're playing St Mirren today. In the Championship, in our featured matches, Queen's Park Rangers 1-0 up at Scunthorpe. Cardiff 1-0 up at Doncaster. And Reading 1-0 up at Nottingham Forest. It's goalless between Millwall and Leeds. You can listen to that match on 5 Live Sports Extra at the moment if you should wish to do so. That's our digital sister station. Manchester United, having got the lead, sitting back a little bit now, and Fulham enjoying good possession here in the sunshine as Clint Dempsey with a very optimistic effort from 30-odd yards. It's about 8 to 10 yards wide of the goal.
That was a kind word. Optimistic effort. Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking of. He must be, 35 yards out from goal there, and he took a snapshot, and it must be 15 yards wide. He hasn't quite got into the game, Dempsey, just yet. They look to me, Fulham, they've got some ability in this team.
Lincoln City 0, Gillingham 1. Josh Gowling putting Gillingham ahead. The time of the goal, 20 minutes as the ball just goes out of play. Smalling can't keep it in. It's midway inside the United half on the Fulham left. Very quiet now, the crowd here.
Well, they haven't had a great deal from United's point of view to shout at, to be honest. There's not been any real continuity in the play. Just that really special goal that they've got.
It was a lovely strike, wasn't it? Lovely strike.
Yes, it was. And then we've had that lovely effort, after Berbatov set up Anderson, which should have really made it 2-0. But Fulham have had every bit as much of the game, just lacking that little bit of spark, really.
It's been a while since Fulham won here at Old Trafford. October 2003, 3-1 the score that day. Dempsey's won a free kick right in the middle of the field, halfway inside the United half. Diego Forlan played for Manchester United that day and scored. That shows you it was a little while ago. And Edwin van der Sar, by the way, was in goal for Fulham that day. He's on the bench today with Kuszczak getting a chance to play. Kuszczak might need to be on his toes now with Danny Murphy about to take this free kick. It's well outside the area, floated into the box. Etuhu going for it, but Berbatov was back and got his head on that on the edge of the 6-yard box. Beautiful piece of skill there from Valencia, getting away from Salcedo. They've passed it past Murphy, and Fulham's defence is nowhere. Hangeland's the last line of defence in front of Valencia, up to the edge of the penalty area, goes for goal and hits his own player. It was Darren Gibson who'd raced into the penalty area. Strikes Gibson, may have struck a defender too because it's gone behind for a corner.
Yeah, so what happened really, it was a bit unlucky for Fulham there as well, because Valencia picked the ball up on the edge of his own penalty almost, because Salcedo actually slipped. Another player who actually slipped, and he went all the way down the field, he got his shot in, and as you say, it struck Gibson, but it also got a touch off Hangeland as well. Corner kick to Manchester United.
Corner to Manchester United taken by Darren Gibson, hangs in the air, Smalling's there, Nani's at the near post, and he can't quite turn it in. It's a goal kick. There's been a goal in the conference. Tamworth playing Crawley. Chris Dennis.
Crawley are on their way. They lead Tamworth by 1-0, and how fitting that Matt Tubbs, their leading scorer, 31 goals this season, should score his 32nd on this day of days. Across from the left-hand side, and there was Tubbs to head home. Tamworth 0, Crawley Town 1.
And there's been a goal in the N-Power Championship in the Millwall Leeds United match for Will Perry.
And it's Millwall 1, Leeds 0. It's a brilliant free kick on the edge of the box from James Henry, smashed into the top corner. Kasper Schmeichel got his hands to it. The irony is, just before that, he had 2 crosses from the left-hand side, which were absolutely dreadful, much to the moans and groans of the new den. Now it's roaring. Millwall 1, Leeds 0.
Big game that with Millwall 6 points outside the playoffs in 8th at the start of play against 5th place Leeds United. Manchester United attack now with Berbatov. He's up to the right-hand angle of a penalty area. Little pass into Nani. Nani still has the ball, tries to roll it in, and that really would have been special had he managed to tiptoe his way through the whole of the Fulham defence, but it's bundled behind.
It would have been a clever little flick, lovely play. Berbatov and Nani, of course, very skilled technicians with the football, and it was a lovely little touch there. First from Berbatov, and Nani just tried to flick it back onto him, and Fulham just got a toe in the way. It's going to be a throw into Manchester United near the corner flag.
Bury a 1-up at Northampton, Ryan Lowe, and also Diamansi Camara on loan from Fulham at Leicester has put Leicester 1-0 up against Burnley at the Walker Stadium as Kakuta steps in and makes a challenge on Patrice Evra. A lot of the fans on the far side of the field having to shield their eyes from the sun. It's
lovely
a beautiful afternoon. Yeah, not very often we've been able to say that for the last few months.
It's been good for 2 or 3 days up here in the northwest.
And having to shield your eyes from the sun is a problem we're happy to deal with.
We can handle that.
I can think of worse things. On the left-hand side, United pushing forward now. Little deflection, and it will be off Kakuta, which means that the home side have got a corner kick, and perhaps the threat now of a second goal with Smalling and O'Shea and Vidic all coming up to join the likes of Berbatov in the heart of the penalty area.
I don't think there's an empty seat anywhere, Simon. Can you see any? And must be 70-odd thousand.
It's packed to the rafters here for this one, and United leading 1-0. Berbatov the goal scorer after 11 minutes. Over comes the corner now from Nani, headed on at the near post by O'Shea, and over the top. Smalling was there. He claimed that it took a little defection off a Fulham defender, which took it over the bar, and the referee has changed his mind and decided to agree with him. And it will be a corner on the near side.
I think it was England who just got a touch to it. It was obviously a work corner, that, but anyway, nevertheless, Manchester United have got another corner now. Fulham have got to watch that they don't concede this second goal.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be an awfully long way back for them if they concede another one now, as it goes high towards the far side of the penalty area, in towards Berbatov, who doesn't catch hold of it properly on the volley, and it bounces through to Mark Schwarzer. We've got another goal at White Hart Lane for Simon Mann.
And Stoke City have got a goal back in the 27th minute, and a superb goal it was as well, scored by Matthew Etherington down the left-hand side. He picked the ball up on the halfway line, down the left, kept on going inside the penalty area, and then put the ball through Gomez's legs into the corner. Spurs 2, Stoke City 1, and that was Stoke's really first effort on goal.
Meanwhile, promotion chasing Southampton in League One, just outside the top 2 automatic places at the moment. A 1-up at Leyton Orient. Richard Lambert with the goal, and Port Vale 1, Southend 0. Robert Taylor. There's been another goal at the Stadium of Light for Peter Slater.
Equaliser for West Bromwich Albion. It's been scored by Peter Odemwingie. Jonas Olsen headed the ball on, and that after the first goal for Sunderland. I thought it was El Mohammadi. It's been given as a Nicky Shorey own goal. West Brom now level, 29 minutes played, Sunderland 1, West Brom 1.
In the Championship, the last time we were with the leaders, Queen's Park Rangers, they were 1-0 up at Scunthorpe. There's been a change to the scoreline. Juliet Farrington.
Yeah, not anymore, because it's an equaliser for Scunthorpe. So game on here. Joe Garner, a superb header rising majestically to head home over keeper Paddy Kenny. Gives Scunthorpe a shout here. Scunthorpe 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
Aldershot 1, Shrewsbury Town 0. Danny Hilton with the goal. 1-0 to Manchester United here on 5 Live Sport. A reminder, full coverage of the Grand National, including the whole race, live here on this channel immediately after the first half of the Manchester United game. We'll bring you all the news and the whole race from Aintree and the aftermath, and then we're back here for the rest of the football as Dembele plays it to the left-hand side, collected by Salcido. Salcido flicks the ball into the air and merely gives it away inside the centre circle to Dimitar Berbatov. He got a little bit tangled up there with Murphy, and I think that was a foul, and Mike Jones, the referee, gives United a free kick, which Berbatov takes, not quite from where he should have done, but nobody seemed to mind, and United push forward down the left with Nani. He's level with the edge of the penalty area. Oh, he's away from Baird, down to the byline, inside the box. Nani lays it back, and it doesn't find Anderson 8 yards out. It's cleared away by Danny Murphy.
Yes, Murphy was the man who read it. Nani's a real threat every time he gets it. He seems to just sail past the defender there, down that left-hand side. There's a real problem for Fulham. They've got to try and solve that a little bit. When he's causing that kind of problem, remember, he's the man who had the little dribble that caused the goal. But anyway, nevertheless, they've got to think about that, Fulham.
Let's head about 30 miles west of here to Aintree and join John Hunt.
Where we're jumping the 4th last fence, Simon, in the race that precedes the Grand National, a handicap chase. I can tell you that Ruby Walsh has already come to grief from Take the Breeze, and Sam Twiston-Davis and Crescent Island, they came down early, both with Grand National rise later, but they appear to be absolutely fine. So turning for home here, Prince de Beauchesne is the leader. Paul Gallagher, he's on board. He'll have his first Grand National ride later on, but he's now being pressed by both Rare Bob and Rave de Sivola. Tara Blaze and Ben Salem riding behind them as Great Endeavour really struggles. Categorical is next, the second last fence coming up now. Great jump, Rare Bob, although he stumbled on landing and he's unsuccessful. seated his rider, Brian Cooper. So he's out of it, leaving Rev de Sivola with a narrow lead here, ahead of Prance de Beauchesne. Tara Blaze is trying to land a blow. A long run to the final fence as Ben Salem is trying to get into it as well. Categorical comes next, and this by no means over. Rev de Sivola with a narrow lead at the last. He took a ponderous long lump at that, and now on the far side it's Prance de Beauchesne back in front. Tara Blaze and Categorical together with Rev de Sivola will chase him home, but it is Prance de Beauchesne who has gone on to win. Tight for second between Categorical, Rev de Sivola and Tara Blaze, but Prance de Beauchesne is the winner. Paul Gallagher, the winning jockey, rides Royal Rosa in the National a little bit later on. Simon, he's won here at 10-1 as we go back to you at Old Trafford.
Thank you, John. And Manchester United have doubled their lead here. Nani, very tight call as to whether he was offside, but he wasn't given, he wasn't flagged. He raced down the left-hand side. Schwarzer came hurtling off his line. He was about 5 yards from the byline, away on the right-hand edge of his penalty area. Nani went round him, flicked the ball into the centre. It was headed up into the air, but Valencia was on the line to just nod the ball into the empty net. Manchester United then doubling their lead against Fulham, Jimmy Armfield.
Yes, and merely it's that man Nani who's caused the problems again. As you say, it was very hard to tell, but it was very close, the offside. But the linesman was well positioned, I must say that. But in the end, Nani's the man who's caused the problem. Valencia, all he had to do was just nick it in on the back post.
And another goal at the Stadium of Light. Peter Slater.
Well, I said it could be feast or famine. It looks like it's going to be the former. It's Sunderland 2, West Brom 1, 3 minutes after Peter Odemwingi's equaliser. An absolute corker of a goal from Phil Bardsley. Kieran Richardson laid a free kick off to him, and he belted it home from 25 yards. Sunderland 2, West Brom 1.
Manchester United really threatening now, just outside the penalty area, centre of the pitch, but it's not a good pass for Gibson towards Paul Scholes, and Fulham clear. There's been a goal at Ewood Park. Big game this. Blackburn, Birmingham. Ian Brown.
Big goal for Birmingham. It's Blackburn 0, Birmingham 1. It was a slick move down the right-hand side. Larson into Cameron Jerome. It was a tight angle for him. He clipped it over the goalkeeper, and Lee Bowyer was there to head in from 1 yard out. I don't think he was offside. It was very tight though, but Lee Bowyer has scored from very close range. Blackburn 0, Birmingham 1.
And Fulham pushing forward on the far side with Chris Baird. Ball rolled up into the heart of midfield. Kakuta to the edge of the penalty area. Takes the return. He's got Zamora just beyond the right-hand angle of the box. Moves to give himself a better angle. Left-footed, curls it into the area. It's easy for Kuszak, who drops the ball and then falls on it and grabs it at the second attempt. Let's go down to the Championship. It's our Sports Extra commentary this afternoon. In London, Millwall playing Leeds United. There's been another goal for Will Perry.
It's a really important goal, this one, Simon. Millwall 2, Leeds 0. It came from the corner from the right from Andros Townsend. Liam Trotter was in the 6-yard box to literally scoop it home. No one picked him up. It's Millwall 2, Leeds 0.
And a big goal for Sheffield United. They've equalised at home to Middlesbrough. Elsewhere, Barnet 2, Crewe 0, Northampton 0, Bury 2 and Aldershot 2, Shrewsbury 0. Fulham in possession. They still continue to enjoy a good, decent share of this match, but they can't find a way through. They haven't really tested Kuszak for a while.
Not for a while, no, they haven't. The first 2 or 3 minutes, but they lack a little bit of self-belief at the moment. They need the goal, really, to do something about that, I think.
Ball's inside the D on the edge of the box, drilled in by Dempsey, deflected away by the Manchester United defence. We'll head to White Hart Lane in just a moment, but Fulham on the attack as Danny Murphy sends one skyward, just scudding out of play beyond the byline. A 4th goal in the first half for Simon Mann.
And a second goal for Peter Crouch. It's Spurs 3, Stoke City 1. Another neat goal scored by Spurs. They went from left to right. The ball was played back to Huddleston. He lifted up across to the far post, and Crouch guided his header back across Begovic into the corner of the net. Spurs 3, Stoke 1.
MK Dons 1, Carlisle 1, and Portsmouth 0, Preston 1. Ian Hume with the goal for Preston. Here it's 2-0 to Manchester United on 5 Live Sport, and Nani really has been the difference today, isn't he, Jimmy?
Well, it certainly has. I made the point about 10 minutes ago, and I thought they were giving him too much room when he had the ball anyway. And I made the point that I think they should really, you've got to mark him tight, when he's causing the kind of problems that he did. After the first goal and the second goal he's been involved in. And, let's see what Fulham can do. But there seems to be a little bit too much for Baird to handle.
Well, this is the ideal scenario, isn't it, for Sir Alex Ferguson with the match today, sandwiched between those 2 Champions League quarter-finals against Chelsea. He's changed his team, and at the moment his team are coasting here against Fulham, in terms of the scoreline at least.
Well, they are coasting, 2-0. It was I think when Fulham were on top in the first sort of 10 or 15 minutes, that's when you needed the goal. If they'd have got the goal then, it could have, changed the whole attitude of Manchester United. But they missed the chance when they had it.
Well, we've heard plenty from White Hart Lane. Tottenham 3-1 up on Stoke. Sunderland beating West Brom 2-1. Birmingham 1-0 up at Blackburn. Bolton 2-0 up at home to West Ham. We haven't heard from Chelsea for a little while. They're playing Wigan. Mike Sewell.
Because it's still Chelsea 0, Wigan 0. Chelsea have had the best chances. Drogba involved in all three of those best chances, the last of which was a shot across the face of goal. But Wigan are holding their own in midfield and getting at Chelsea's heels. It's still Chelsea 0, Wigan 0.
Let's head up to Glasgow. Celtic playing St Mirren. Roddy Forsyth.
Well, I don't know if it's because it's unseasonably warm. It really is summer temperatures and summer dress order today here at Celtic Park. But Celtic have been very sluggish. Perhaps it's the changes they've made in midfield, but the crowd are beginning to get just a little bit restless. It's still Celtic 0, St Mirren 0.
He's had a play on the far side of the field, and Manchester United will have a throw, which Patrice Evra prepares to take. Short to Paul Scholes, and then Evra through the air down the left-hand side. It's towards the halfway line, and Berbatov, who is challenged by Aaron Hughes, and it will be a Manchester United throw.
Main thing you see about Manchester United, when you look at the league form, the Premier League, they've dropped 2 points at home all season. They've had one draw, they haven't been beaten at home, 14 victories. They must feel so confident when they walk out on this field. And that confidence is really starting to show now. They're passing the ball around. Fulham somehow have got to try and get themselves back into the game somehow.
Yeah, Fulham haven't played badly, but they've lacked a bit of bite, haven't they,
Well,
Jimmy?
it's like zip up front, I think, as well.
Yeah.
The midfield play has been pretty decent at times, but really there's no end point coming.
Barnsley have equalised against Bristol City. Andy Gray with a penalty after 32 minutes, and Alfie Potter has put Oxford 1-0 up at home to Wickham. It's 2-0 Manchester United here against Fulham, and United in control of the match and in possession of the ball on the halfway line. The sun's still shining. It's a glorious day here at Old Trafford as O'Shea with a little flick to his right to Antonio Valencia. Valencia infield to Anderson. Anderson now finds Gibson. It's quick, slick passing, but Nani was a little too adventurous there, and it enabled Fulham to clear to the halfway line, and Bobby Zamora has been fouled by Smalling, and it will be a free kick. It's bang on the halfway line.
Yeah, so just tried to get that ball away, really. It was a little flick again by Nani on the edge of the box this time. It almost got Anderson through. They've got the players, of course, who can just turn it on. Particularly in this scenario, people like Anderson and Berbatov and Nani, they've got the touch on the ball.
Ball up towards the edge of the penalty area, and Manchester United should clear, but it's been only half hacked away, and now they can clear it. There's a penalty at the City ground. Nottingham Forest playing Reading. Pat Murphy.
To Nottingham Forest, they're 1-0 down. It's going to be taken by Chris Broyd. A soft penalty. McGugan turned his marker and he brought him down. Referee had no hesitation. Seen them given sometimes, seen them turned down. But Forest need a turn of the screw there to get themselves back in the match. They're very much the second best at the moment. They're trailing at the moment to Hart's free kick. Let's see what Chris Boyd could do. On loan here since January. He hasn't scored many goals for Forest. Now's his chance. Spots it up, composes himself. The keeper McCarthy ready for him. Referee says get on with it. Here comes Boyd. And he scored. Chris Boyd equalises to the right of the keeper. Forest need it. We don't deserve it, but they're drawing 1-1 against Reading.
A reminder that the leaders Queen's Park Rangers are being held 1-1 by Scunthorpe at Glanford Park as well. It's Doncaster Rovers 0, Cardiff City 1 and Millwall 2, Leeds 0 in our featured match. Live commentary of that at the moment on our sister station 5 Live Sports Extra. Manchester United leading 2-0 against Fulham, and on the attack Nani left hand side, left hand angle of the penalty area up against Baird, cuts inside, goes outside. Baird does just enough to get his body in the way, and Aaron Hughes sees it safely behind. Nani looks to the skies, and I think Baird heaves a huge sigh of relief, Jimmy.
He did, yeah. Well, actually, he did well there because he wasn't so impetuous this time. He waited, let Nani make the move, and then, then he sort of got his body between himself and the ball. That's much better. Compose himself a little bit.
Torquay 1-0 up at Bradford. Kevin Nicholson with the goal, and Christian Daly's been sent off for Charlton. Violent conduct 10 minutes before half-time in their match today. Fulham trying to at least get a foothold in this game before half-time. If one of their players can score, though, before the break, they would be the first opposition player to score at Old Trafford in the first half of a match for the last year. It's forward now by Evra. Lovely arcing ball to the right-hand side to Berbatov. Busy, full of running, into the penalty area on the right, faced by Hangeland. Berbatov's on his own, still has the possession. Ball and the angle gets tighter and tighter all the time. He tried to flick it between his legs to get away from Hangeland, but Hangeland was a wiry fellow, and he made sure that didn't happen, and he got a free kick as well.
Yeah, it's not easy for a centre-half in that scenario when you've got somebody with Berbatov's talent running at you inside the box. You have to watch that the timing of the tackle is just right, and he did absolutely splendid there, Hangeland. Really well played.
Haven't really noticed that Wayne Rooney's not playing so far, have we? To be honest.
No.
As good a player as he is, but I'm not so sure that Rooney would necessarily have played today anyway, to be honest, suspension or not.
Yeah. Wait till they get the first team on, yeah, that's what they say. But I think the thing about it is, I think this illustrates today, really, just what a powerful squad Manchester United have, I looked down the list of players before the game, and when I saw, that people who played in midweek, 5 of them are not playing. It's a massive item, that.
Goal at White Hart Lane, Tottenham against Stoke, Simon Mann.
And Stoke have got their second goal. Spurs 3, Stoke 2. Gareth Bale, a bit slack just inside his own half, gave away possession. It was seized upon by Kenwyne Jones, who advanced towards the edge of the penalty area and then drilled in a superb shot into the top of the net. Spurs 3, Stoke 2. It's been a lively afternoon at the Lane.
Yeah, not half. 5 goals, and we're not even at half-time yet. As the latest Fulham move just fizzles out away on the far side. 1 or 2 goals going in. Ipswich 1, Crystal Palace 0. Josh Carson on 38 minutes. Marlon King has put Coventry 2-0 up at Derby County. And Danny Green has scored for Dagenham and Redbridge to double their lead against Notts County. 2-0 to Dagenham and Redbridge. Here it is Manchester United 2, Fulham 0. Berbatov with the first goal after 11 minutes, and Antonio Valencia with 31 minutes played. Both of them really set up by Nani, who has looked wonderfully sharp today in almost everything that he has done. And Fulham, as myself and Jimmy have been saying, have had plenty of the game, but haven't really done anything decisive with the ball. The
end product, the last third of the field, really, not enough zip, I don't think. Movement off the ball lacking a little bit in the front players. I mean, say, Bobby Zamora got some headlines last week. This is a time really to prove, really, about his ability and his fitness as much as anything else. And the players alongside him. We haven't seen enough, I don't think, of Dempsey. He can be a real threat at times. We haven't seen enough of him in this game.
Well, yet again, not for the first season. Fulham's success has been built on their performances at home, hasn't it? Once
of course.
More.
Well, they've only won 1 away all season.
Yeah, 2-0 at Stoke City just after Christmas, but that's it. It seems as though they've got a habit of winning just 1 match away every season.
It's hard to understand that in a way, because they've got some good players and they've got some very experienced players as well.
Yeah, they're taking 11 points from 45 on the road so far this season before today. Now, if they could just take a few more, just think how much better off they would be. Manchester United try to move over the halfway line with Anderson. Good to see him back in the side, by the way. Anderson having missed quite a few games through injury. He was injured in the FA Cup tie against Crawley, damaged his knee ligaments, but played well for the reserves during the week and gets a run out today.
Yeah, they managed to do that as well. I mean, so they got Ferdinand back in midweek, after his long layoff. They got Valencia back about 2 or 3 weeks ago. They've all come back, at the right time. Still firing on 3 fronts, Manchester United, remember.
1 minute of the opening 45 remaining here at Old Trafford. Berrier 3 up at Northampton now. Damien Mazika with the third goal. Lincoln City 0, Gillingham 2. Cody McDonald doubling Gillingham's lead. And it's Huddersfield 0, Peterborough 1. Grant McCann with a penalty. Huddersfield second in League One. At the start of play, Southampton, a reminder, of third, are winning at the moment. They would leapfrog them into the automatic positions with games in hand. United on the attack now with Berbatov, just outside the penalty area to the right of the D. Rolls it to the right wing, and Valencia, he's level with the edge of the box, faced by Salcido, goes inside him into the box, and Valencia's done really well, rolls it into the centre, and it's hooked away behind for a corner by Aaron Hughes, with Berbatov waiting to just tap it home.
Yes, I thought it was a third goal. The 2 flank players, that's Nani on one side and Valencia on the other, have had a birthday in the first half here. That was a good run from Valencia, the right side. It was good clearance, I thought, by Hughes.
A reminder that Chelsea come here on Tuesday in the Champions League. They're being held by Wigan. 0-0 at Stamford Bridge at the moment. Over comes the corner. Smalling heads it back into the centre. Anderson's nearby, and Hangeland tries to see it behind, but it was Bobby Zamora who comes back to try and see it behind. and it will be a Fulham goal. Quick reminder of the scores in the Barclays Premier League. Apart from Chelsea 0, Wigan 0, it's Bolton Wanderers 2, West Ham United 0, Blackburn Rovers 0, Birmingham City 1, Sunderland 2, West Bromwich Albion 1, and an action-packed first half at White Hart Lane. Tottenham Hotspur 3, Stoke City 2, and a perfect response from Peter Crouch after his daft sending off in Madrid during the week. 2 of those goals for Tottenham scored by him. Derby have got a goal back against Coventry. They're trailing 2-1, and Barnsley now lead Bristol City by 2-1. They were losing earlier this afternoon. Free kick to Fulham then inside the Manchester United half.
Yeah, Smalling gave it away. He's got a tendency to lean on people. I think, he pushed Angolan in the first half. Anyway, here's the free kick. Can Fulham get something in the last minute of the first half?
Well, it might make the second half interesting if they do. It's floated into the penalty area. It's an easy header away, though, by Patrice Evra. And that will do us for the first half. Mike Jones blows the whistle. The referee hasn't had much to do. And Manchester United leading by 2-0 at half-time. Jimmy, worth the lead?
Worth the lead because they could put the chances away. Fulham started well. There was a couple of efforts. One for Couture. I thought that was a very good chance. And I thought Zamora had a wonderful chance as well. But they didn't take the chances. They've been punished by Berbatov and Valencia, and there could have been more goals. They've done well, Manchester United, considered they've made half a dozen changes.
Half-time here, Manchester United 2, Fulham 0, Berbatov and Valencia with the goals.
Thank you to Simon and to Jimmy. Let's go straight to White Hart Lane, where you've had an action-packed first 45 minutes. Simon Mann.
We're in the second minute of first half stoppage time. Spurs are about to take a corner on the far side. They lead by 3-2. It's been one of those afternoons when all the chances have flown in. Spurs have been dominant, but Stoke have scored 2 excellent goals from their 2 efforts on goals. The corner comes in. Begovic punches the ball up in the air and then gets another punch on it and clears it. Spurs 2 up inside 18 minutes, the sort of start they love on Wednesday. Both set up by Pavlyuchenko. Crouch with a header, and then Modric drifting inside the penalty area to knock it past Begovic. Then a superb goal back by Stoke. Etherington down the left-hand side into the penalty area and through the legs of Gomez. Crouch with another header from Huddleston's cross for 3-1, and then Bale gave the ball away inside his own half, seized upon by Jones, and a cracking finish from the Stoke striker. Still playing, it's Spurs 3, Stoke 2.
The half-time whistle there has gone at the Reebok. A controversial first half for you. Conor McNamara.
Bolton 2, West Ham 0. Daniel Sturridge and Chung Young Lee with the goals. But the aftermath of the first goal was really astonishing. West Ham midfielder Mark Noble ran back into the penalty area. He struck his own goalkeeper Robert Green in the chest. Green tried to grab hold of Noble's head. The two were eventually separated by Matt Upson. Mark, after all the attention that Wayne Rooney got last weekend, I just wonder if this incident will get even 1% of the coverage. I don't even think Noble was booked. Bolton 2, West Ham 0.
Strange, that was a discussion that was had here at Aintree, where the horses for the Grand National are going round the parade ring. Full commentary to come at 4:15. Derby have equalised against Coventry. Derby 2, Coventry 2. Let's go to Mike Sewell at Stamford Bridge. Mike.
Where the half-time whistle has just gone. Chelsea 0, Wigan 0. The natives a little restless here, although Chelsea have had the best chances, and Didier Drogba has been involved in all of them, one of which was a shot across the face of goal by himself. But Malouda has twice been denied by Al Habsi, and the first chance of the game was in the opening minute where Lampard miskicked and Ramirez couldn't follow up. Wigan haven't really created much in the final third, but they have certainly held their own in midfield and kept Chelsea at bay, although I'll just take note here, last season they were only 2-0 up Chelsea and they went on to win 8-0. It's 0-0 at the moment.
The half-time whistle has gone at White Hart Lane. Spurs 3-2 up on Stoke. The early game was at Molineux. Everton beat Wolves by 3-0, which means this could be a very good afternoon for Birmingham, Ian Brown.
At the moment it is. A long stoppage at the moment here with the score Blackburn 0, Birmingham 1. The problem for Birmingham right now is that their centre-back Roger Johnson has gone down. He's been down for a good 3 minutes after taking a bang on the head. Brave defending against Jason Roberts. A match of very tight margins. It was almost 2-0 for Birmingham. Larson with a free kick which came back off the post with Robinson beaten. The best move of the match brought the goal for Birmingham after 32 minutes. Larson and Jerome setting up Lee Bowyer for an unmissable close range header, and he wasn't offside. Blackburn have lost Nelson with injury. Phil Jones has dropped into defence. Jason Roberts is on. Roger Johnson still down injured, so we're waiting for the half-time whistle with Birmingham leading by 1-0. He's a man of steel though, Johnson. He's back up on his feet.
Another two sides in desperate need of 3 points are Sunderland and West Brom, and Peter Slater's been watching them at the Stadium of Light.
Sunderland leading West Brom 2-1. A win would take Sunderland over the magic 40-point mark defeat would make West Brom nervous again. Sunderland scored their first goal for 449 minutes when Nicky Shorey headed Jean's cross past his own goalkeeper. Peter Odemwingie equalised from close range just before the half hour. Jonas Olsen heading on. Then 3 minutes later, the goal of the half, Kieran Richardson laying off a free kick for Phil Barsley, who walloped it home from 25 yards out. Half-time, Sunderland 2, West Brom 1.
As more and more horses enter the parade ring here at Aintree ahead of the 2011 Grand National, let's find out how the leaders of the SPL have got on. Roddy.
Well, they haven't got out of the starting box, really, because Celtic, as I said earlier, made some significant changes, and the crowd are most unhappy with them. Very sluggish. It's scoreless here against St Mirren. St Mirren, in fact, have, generally speaking, looked the more likely side to score, and had Higdon not missed from the penalty spot, not that it was a penalty, it was a corner kick that fell to him in the penalty spot, but he had a clear sight of goal, and he whacked it over. I think he was surprised by the latitude he got. Then Celtic would be even more trouble, but at the moment it's Celtic 0, St Mirren 0.
Other half-times in the SPL, Aberdeen 0, Hibs 1, Celtic 0, St Mirren 0, as you've heard from Roddy, Dundee United 1, St Johnstone 0, goalless as well between Hearts and Motherwell, and it's Kilmarnock 1, Inverness Caledonian Thistle 1. Into the Championship, how are the leaders getting on there? Juliet Ferrington.
1-1 at the moment. Scunthorpe putting up a real fight as well. A 27th-minute equalise from Joe Garner, heading home from Michael O'Connor's free kick. Paddy Kenny, no chance. It powered past him. And in fairness to Scunthorpe, despite their league position, hit for 6 last week, they're causing the leaders a few problems, and they don't like it. An early goal from Rob Hulse. That's what put the Queen's Park Rangers in front. Scunthorpe 1, Queen's Park Rangers 1.
That might give hope to the chasers, but before we hear about them, there's been another goal at Blackburn. Ian Brown.
Amazing development. Blackburn 1, Birmingham 1. Blackburn equalising as we approach the 7th minute of stoppage time in the first half. Roger Johnson has just come back on the field after his injury, and Liam Ridgewell lost all his concentration in the Birmingham back line. He gave the ball away to Junior Hoylett, and the Canadian is so strong and fast. He was away around goalkeeper Foster and scoring from a tight angle. Was still playing in the first half. Blackburn 1, Birmingham 1.
We'll like to be in that Birmingham dressing room at half-time with Alex McLeish. Let's go back to the Championship then. Doncaster against Cardiff. Dave Woods at the keep, mate.
It's Doncaster 0, Cardiff 1 at half-time. When the goal came in the 15th minute, it was very much against the run of play. Jay Bothroyd with the initial thrust, and Chris Burke cracking a shot from the right edge of the penalty area that went through the diving Gary Woods. Before that, Doncaster had created a plethora of chances, the best of them Hayter's ball in for Frank Musa, who was in and away, but his shot beaten by Tom Heaton at the near post. Since the goal, Cardiff have settled, and they deserve the lead. Doncaster 0, Cardiff 1 at half-time.
Millwall on top of the Den, Will Perry?
Yeah, it's Millwall 2, Leeds 0, Chappers, all going to plan at the new Den for Kenny Jackett. Both goals from set pieces. The first, a free kick on the edge of the box, curled into the top right corner from James Henry. Kasper Schmeichel got his hands to it but couldn't keep it out. The second from a corner, Liam Trotter unmarked, lunging into the net inside the 6-yard box. Looks like Leeds need some strong coffee at the break. Millwall 2, Leeds 0.
And as has happened several times this season at the City Ground, the referee has played a part. Pat Murphy.
Yes, this Forest 1, Reading 1. Reading deservedly leading through Hart's direct free kick. How often has he done that in his career? And he came close to make it 2-1 actually just before half-time when Camp tipped over his in-swinging free kick. But after half an hour, the Guggen was brought down. Borderline decision. Ledgerwood couldn't believe it. The alleged perpetrator, Boyd scored from the penalty spot. Reading are the better team. Forest living on their nerves. The fourth official is getting some terrible jip from both denizens of the dugouts. I feel sorry for him. It's Forest 1, Reading 1.
Other half-time scores, and in the Empower Championship, Barnsley 3, Bristol City 1, 2 apiece between Derby and Coventry. Ipswich 1, Crystal Palace 0, Leicester 1, Burnley 0. Preston a 1-up at Portsmouth, 1-1 between Sheffield United and Middlesbrough, and it's Watford 0, Hull 1. Into League 1, Bournemouth 0, Tranmere 1, goalless between Brentford and Swindon. Brighton 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Bristol Rovers 0, Exeter 0. Also goalless between Colchester and Rochdale. Dagenham and Redbridge are 3-0 up on Notts County. It's 1 apiece between Hartlepool and Yeovil. Huddersfield 0, Peterborough 1 in the big game in that division this afternoon. Leyton Orient 0, Southampton 1. MK Dons 1, Carlisle 1. Oldham 0, Charlton 0. Charlton down to 10 men at Boundary Park, and it's goalless between Plymouth and Walsall. Into League 2, Aldershot 2, Shrewsbury 0, Barnet 2, Crewe 1. Bradford 0, Torquay 1. Cheltenham 0, Rotherham 1. The leaders are behind. Hereford 1, Chesterfield 0. It's Lincoln 0, Gillingham 2. Morecambe 1, Burton Albion 0, Northampton 0, Bury 3, Oxford 1, Wickham 0, Port Vale 1, Southend 0, and goalless at Edgeley Park between Stockport and Stevenage. They're the League 2 half-times. Will Crawley be in that league next season? They win today, they're up. Chris Dennis.
They're on their way, 45 minutes away from that place in League 2, and well worth the lead mark. Top scorer Matt Tubbs with a goal on 26 minutes, his 32nd of the season. He'll certainly be one to watch out for in League 2 next season. Crawley, you know, aren't everyone's cup of tea because of all the money they've had pumped into them over the last year or so, but they do play some neat, pretty football. Tamworth have tried to spoil the party so far, particularly towards the end of the first half, but the 1,000 or so Crawley fans who've travelled up from West Sussex, they're enjoying the Staffordshire sunshine at the Lamb Stadium here, and they can almost taste the champagne. Crawley 1-0 up at half-time against Tamworth.
Just to confirm, it is Blackburn 1, Birmingham 1 at half-time. Other half-times in the Blue Square Bet Premier: Barrow 0, Kettering 0, Cambridge United 0, AFC Wimbledon 2, Darlington 3, Bath City 0, Eastbourne 0, Fleetwood 2, Forest Green Rovers 0, Altrincham 0, Gateshead 1, Histon 0, Grimsby 1, Kidderminster 2, Hayes and Yedding 3, Mansfield 0, Luton 2, Southport 0, Rushden and Diamonds 0, Wrexham 1, and York City 0, Newport County 0. In the Iron Brew Scottish First Division, Falkirk 0, Partick Thistle 2, Wraith Rovers 0, Cowden Beath 0, Alloa 1, Airdrie 0 into the Second Division now. Ayr 2, Forfar 0, Brechin 0, East Fife 1, Dumbarton 2, Peterhead 0, Stenhousemuir 0, Livingston 1 in the Third Division. Albion Rovers and Annan are goalless, as are Berwick and Montrose. Clyde 0, Arbroath 2, Queen's Park 0, Elgin 0, Stranraer 1, East Stirlingshire 0. They're all your football half-times. How is the cricket getting on at Essex? Kevin Howells.
Day 2 at tea. Essex have fought back well, all out 201 here against Kent. James Foster, the skipper, ended up 88 not out. First innings deficit of 46 runs. Kent now 36 for 1. 17-year-old, 6'8", Rhys Topley with a third wicket on debut, swinging the ball nicely. Denley LBW. Elsewhere in Division 1, Carl Brown of Lancashire, 22 years of age, has scored a maiden first-class century in Liverpool. The home side 219 for 3 trails Sussex by 24 runs, and a Yorkshire comeback 197 for 7 trails of Worcestershire by 89 runs.
Into rugby union in the first of the Heineken Cup quarter-finals. The latest score I have for you: Perpignan 0, Toulon 3. Munster are into the semi-finals of the Amlin Challenge Cup by winning 42-37 at Brive. There are two big games in the Aviva Premiership today as well. The latest scores: Bath 21, Exeter 8. And in that battle at the bottom, Newcastle 20, Leeds Carnegie 14. Other sports to tell you about. Chris Evans will be on air from 9 tonight with coverage of the Masters. Rory McIlroy is 2 shots clear of the field, but Tiger Woods is joint third, 3 shots off the lead. Sebastian Vettel will start tomorrow's Malaysian Grand Prix from pole. Lewis Hamilton will be alongside him on the front row. You can hear that race tomorrow on 5 Live from 8:30 a.m. And in the Engage Super League, it's Hull KR 12, Leeds 10. That was a 3:15 kickoff. The cheers you can hear at Aintree are the jockeys making their ways down the steps from the weighing room to the parade ring to mount their horses. We are 60 minutes away from the Grand National on 5 Live Sport. Full commentary and all the build-up to come after Tom Sanders with the latest BBC News.
Online at bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Northern Ireland's police say a bomb left under a bridge on the main Belfast to Dublin road could have caused devastation and loss of life. They said the device, blamed on dissident Republicans, was sophisticated and substantial. A 2-month-old baby boy is in a critical condition in hospital in Birmingham after being stabbed several times. Police have arrested a 37-year-old man on suspicion of attempted murder. At least 6 people have been killed in the Netherlands after a man opened fire in a shopping centre southwest of Amsterdam. The gunman is thought to be among the dead. British warplanes have destroyed 7 Libyan tanks in airstrikes over the country. The Ministry of Defence says Tornado jets hit 2 tanks in Ajdabia and a further 5 in Misrata. It comes as forces loyal to Colonel Gaddafi have been mounting a big assault on the town of Ajdabia. Troops surrounded the town and reports say that there has been hand-to-hand.
Simon, Brotherton at Old Trafford. Is it all still Manchester United?
It's as you were, Mark. Yes, 76.5 minutes played here at Old Trafford. Sun still shining. Manchester United are still beating Fulham by 2-0. Dimitar Berbatov after 11 minutes and Antonio Valencia after 31, doubling United's lead. But we've had one or two moments in the second half. Fulham have remained positive, and Jimmy Armfield, they had a great chance to equalise just about a minute ago.
Yeah, it's Baird coming up on the right-hand side. He had a good chance and he's put it over the top. Fulham seem to have, they're quite good really at times, but they're just no end product, and that's been the real problem they've got in this match. Manchester United have had the luxury of taking Valencia and Anderson off now. They put Owen and Fabio on.
Nani is rolling around on the floor, having been fouled. Manchester United will have a free kick, and while they prepare for that, let's head down into the Empower Championship. The last time we heard from Glanford Park, the leaders QPR were in trouble at Scunthorpe. Juliet Farrington.
They still are, because it's sunny Scunny. 3-1 now they lead Queen's Park Rangers, and their third, an absolute beauty. It came from distance. Michael O'Connor, 25 yards out. It flew into the top left corner, past Paddy Kenny. Joe Garner's got 2, O'Connor 1, and all this after Rob Hall's put Queen's Park Rangers ahead early in the first half. Scunthorpe 3, QPR 1.
2 goals at Nottingham Forest for Pat Murphy.
Game's been turned on its head since the Grand National. 2-1 down. Reading, they now lead 3-2. Carrigan, equaliser, header from a corner, and then Kebe, outstanding in the second half. Kebe made it 3-2, and they deserve it. Forest 2, Reading 3.
And quickly to Millwall, another goal for Will Perry.
How important will this goal be in their race to the playoffs? It's now Millwall 3, Leeds 1. Steve Morrison's shot hit the back of the Leeds defender Lee Bromby. Schmeichel came to collect it. Morrison then nipped in to poke home his 17th of the season. Millwall impressive. They lead Leeds 3-1.
12 minutes to go. Manchester United have just taken the free kick. It's outside the penalty area, away to the right-hand side. United kicking towards the Stretford end in the second half. Nani in possession down near the right-hand corner flag. He's challenged, and the ball ricochets off Ida Gudjonsson on as a second half substitute, and United with the throw deep inside the Fulham half. Michael Owen, another one of the subs to come on, loses possession. Fulham now perhaps with a chance to break, but Gudjonsson is a little slow at getting things moving, and Danny Murphy now has possession in the centre of midfield. An exchange with Kakuta. Fulham now into the Manchester United half. On the left with Salcido. Salcido, short ball infield towards Kakuta. Sidesteps away from Scholes. Sidesteps away from Fabio. Supported by Gudjonsson. Pass to the near side, the right, and Baird level with the edge of the penalty area. United with 8 players back in and around the penalty area. Gudjonsson's cross just takes a little touch off O'Shea, and it goes behind for a corner. Let's head off to Tamworth. They're playing Crawley in the conference. Crawley trying to win the title today. Chris Dennis.
Yes, they're 15 minutes away or less from a place in the Football League for the first time in their history. A second goal since you were with us for Matt Tubbs, this one from the penalty spot. The Crawley fans know they're almost there. The fat lady is making her way to the stage. Tamworth 0, Crawley Town 2.
Fulham have taken the corner. They've got it inside the penalty area with Danny Murphy. Murphy onto his right foot, floats it into the centre. Oh, it was so inviting, but there was nobody in a white shirt there, Jimmy.
What a chance. He flicked it across the 6-yard area, and there was no reaction. No reaction whatsoever from either Dempsey or from Zamora. That was a real chance for Fulham.
At this stage, we welcome World Service listeners wherever you are. Welcome to Old Trafford, where Manchester United, the league leaders, are at the moment set to go 10 points clear of Arsenal at the top of the Barclays Premier League. They're leading Fulham by 2-0. Berbatov and Valencia, the goal scorers in the first half. Fulham have been positive throughout, but haven't quite had enough firepower. Let's head off to Doncaster. There's been a goal in the Championship for Dave Woods.
Doncaster 1, Cardiff 1. It has been cunning. James Coffin just steadies himself as the ball was moved towards him on the edge of the area and clipped one in from the corner of the box. It's their first goal in 4 games, Doncaster. They deserve the equaliser. Doncaster 1, Cardiff 1.
Elsewhere, Dagenham and Redbridge 3, Notts County 1. Morecambe 2, Burton Albion 1. The League One leaders, Brighton, are 2-0 up against Sheffield Wednesday. Elliot Bennett with the second goal. Ipswich 2, Crystal Palace 1. Paddy McCarthy getting one back for Palace. Hereford 2, Chesterfield 0 is another latest score. Reminder here, 2-0 to Manchester United in the lunchtime game. Wolves 0, Everton 3. A result, Chelsea are 1 up at home to Wigan. Let's go to White Hart Lane. The last time we were there, Tottenham were beating Stoke 3-2. Simon Mann.
That's the way of it still. Spurs 3, Stoke 2. Got 11 minutes left. Stoke had a good spell just after half-time, and they hit the post, and Neil Walters sending the ball against the post, but Spurs have asserted themselves since then. Pavlyuchenko headed wide. He also had the ball in the net, but there was a foul on the keeper, Begovic, just before, and then Pavlyuchenko had a shot that was blocked by Begovic. Stoke have made 3 substitutions all at once, and they're still threatening, but Spurs have a measure of control over the game. It's Spurs 3, Stoke 2.
Berbatov's just had a shot deflected into the arms of Mark Schwarzer, and Fulham breaking away down the left-hand side, but Bobby Zamora can't quite keep the ball in play, and it will be a goal kick to Manchester United. There's been another goal at Scunthorpe. Juliet Farrington.
And what a scoreline here, because Scunthorpe now lead the Championship leaders Queen's Park Rangers by 4 goals to 1. We think the player, well certainly the player claiming it, is Mark Duffy. This after Joe Garner scored twice after Rob Holt put Queen's Park Rangers in front, and Michael O'Connor scored an absolute beauty to make it Scunthorpe 3-1. But now Mark Duffy has made it 4-1 Scunthorpe. They lead the Championship leaders by 4 goals to 1.
Thanks, Juliet. Danny Murphy's gone off. Jonathan Greening is on, and Brentford 0, Swindon 1 is the latest score, and we've got a goal at Celtic for Roddy Forsyth.
And for the Celtic fans, not before time. It was a huge explosion of relief, and you can hear that as the announcer telling you, Chris Commons, who just arrived as a substitute a few minutes ago, picking up the pace in the left. He was on the edge of the penalty area when at last a loose ball eluded the St Mirren defence, and he hit it hard, right-footed between Gallagher and his right-hand post. So it's Celtic 1, St Mirren 0.
And to the Reebok Stadium, Bolton playing West Ham. Conor McNamara.
9 minutes to go. 2 goals from Daniel Sturridge, another from Chung Young Lee. Bolton 3, West Ham 0. West Ham have been very poor today. Jemba Ba hit the post. That's as close as they've come to a goal of their own, and this is proving to be a nice little run out for Bolton ahead of their trip to Wembley next weekend. Bolton 3, West Ham 0.
Aldershot 3, Shrewsbury Town 0, latest score. Let's head up to Ewood Park. Blackburn against Birmingham. Ian Brown.
Still Blackburn 1, Birmingham 1. Intense, very competitive match. So many stoppages I've lost count. I don't think we'll finish before 5 o'clock. We have a free kick just outside the penalty area now for Blackburn. There have been 2 big moments in the second half. Santa Cruz heading against the bar for Blackburn, and Larson curling a free kick round the wall at the other end. That was kept out by Robinson. Here comes a free kick. Pedersen into the wall. It deflects across the penalty area, comes out to Salgado. He shoots. That's blocked. It's going to be a corner. It's still 1-1.
Thanks, Ian. Manchester United on the attack. Nani goes down under the challenge. The referee waits to see if any advantage accrued. It didn't, and United will have a free kick in just a few moments. Meantime, let's head off to the Stadium of Light. Sunderland West Brom. Peter Slater.
Well, it's gone backwards and forwards, this one. West Brom have been down twice. They're now ahead. Sunderland 2, West Brom 3. Thoroughly deserved their lead given to them in the 72nd minute by Paul Sharner. It's Sunderland 2, West Brom 3.
Manchester United almost ready to take this free kick. Jimmy Armfield.
Yes, I think he's exaggerated that now a little bit. But anyway, it's a free kick for Manchester United, about 10 yards outside the area. Whenever the ball gets towards Nani, really, there's always been a threat in this particular match. And here he is again down the right-hand side.
Free kick taken short. Nani with the ball into the penalty area. Breaks loose. Fired in by O'Shea. Saved low to his left at the near post by Mark Schwarzer. There's been another goal at Tamworth in the conference. Could be a big day for Crawley. Chris Dennis.
Their fans are already celebrating. They now lead Tamworth by 3 goals to 0. Charlie Wassimer with a header from the left-hand side. No doubt at all. The fat lady is now clearing her throat. Tamworth trailing by 3 goals to 0. Crawley are almost there.
Crawley heading for promotion to the Football League for the very first time in their history. Special day for them. Bristol Rovers 0, Exeter City 1. Daniel Nadiello with the goal for Exeter City, giving them a late lead with around 10 minutes to go there. Ida Gudjonsson in possession here for Fulham. Fulham trailing Manchester United by 2 goals to 0. United 2 up inside roughly half an hour. And Fulham, despite the fact that they've played their part in the match, have never quite had enough about them to get back into it.
No, they haven't. Up front, they've just, they just lack the pace up front, I think, today. They've had some nice play in the middle of the field, but Manchester United just had a little bit too much for them in defence. I suppose that's the answer to it.
Fulham on the attack again, ball into the penalty area. Nemanja Vidic, who's had a stroll in the park this afternoon with very little to do, heads it clear, ball breaks loose, and Fabio thumps it over the touchline on the near side. A reminder, the result of the Grand National. First, Bala Briggs at 14-1, another winner for the McCain family. Second, Oscar Time, also at 14-1, and third, Don't Push It, at 9-1. It was a terrific race. Goals going in around the country. Hereford 3, Chesterfield 0, and Leicester City 4. Patrick Van Arnholt, on loan from Chelsea, has scored the 4th goal for Leicester. Leicester 4, Burnley 0. Chelsea, by the way, winning 1-0 against Wigan Athletic at Stamford Bridge. Malouda with the goal in the second half, but it's been pretty much plain sailing for Manchester United. They made 8 changes for this game. It's been an ideal case scenario for their manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, today, hasn't it? 8 changes, and really they haven't broken stride.
I think there was just 2 spells in the game where I thought Fulham really, might have done something about it. And one was, oddly enough, was in the first sort of 10 minutes when they had a couple of chances and they didn't make the most of it. This is just a hold up here now while Nani comes off the field. He's on the far side of the ground and he's walking all the way over, so it'll take a few minutes, I would think.
Torquay are now 3 up at Bradford. Billy Key with the third goal.
Yes, and the other chance was just after the break when Fulham had a spell again. But generally speaking, Manchester United just had a little bit too much for them around the ground in this match. And but now he was coming off. He's been instrumental in it. He was involved in both the goals. One for Berbatov, one for Valencia. Both good goals.
A reminder, plenty of sport coming up on 5 Live for the rest of the day. 6:06 with Darren Fletcher and Robbie Savage at 6:06. Sports Extra's got Rugby Union, Leinster against Leicester in the quarter-finals of the Heineken Cup. That's at 6 o'clock on 5 Live Sports Extra. And the Masters Golf. Chris Evans is back at 9 tonight to present live coverage of the third round of the Masters here on 5 Live. You can also watch that on BBC Two from 8:30 this evening. And Match of the Day, by the way, is at 10:15 tonight on BBC One. Michael Owen on the attack down the left-hand side for Manchester United towards the byline, tries to worm his way through. He's done superbly well. Hangeland heads the ball clear, bounces loose to Scholes outside the box on the right-hand edge of the D. He fired the shot in on the spin and it goes behind the goal for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's a little run from Michael Owen. He's only been on the field a few minutes. It's his first real touch. Came in round the outside of Baird, put the crossover, but Scholes, that wasn't the old Scholes on the edge of the box. He just got underneath it and put it over the top.
Colchester 1, Rochdale 0, and Milton Keynes Dons 2, Carlisle 2 now. MK Dons getting level in that match as Greening on as a substitute finds Kakuta. Kakuta's been quite lively at times, hasn't he, Jimmy? It's his first start for Fulham on loan from Chelsea.
Not bad. He's left-footed though, out on the right-hand side of the field. Always coming in on the inside, which is always a bit of a problem, I think, because what it does, it cuts down the width in the attack.
Jim, we've got just a couple of minutes to go here. Unless there's some remarkable recovery from Fulham, United look as though they're going 10 points clear with 6 to play. How big a stride towards the title will these 3 points be, do you think?
Well, it is a big stride. The point is basically if Manchester United got in front, but when you think they're going to be 10 points ahead, it's a colossal loss for anybody. And really, Arsenal perhaps have got a chance with the game in hand. But the point is, there's more to it than that.
2 in hand tonight, won't they, Arsenal? But they've been dropping points left, right and centre in the last 2 or 3 matches.
Yes, I was reading in the paper this morning, Arsene Wenger saying that, second isn't too bad.
Well, it's better than 18 other teams in the Premier League, that's for sure.
Well, it's better than third.
As Vidic in possession for Manchester United. Berbatov and Valencia with first half goals. Manchester United have done enough. They've done as much as they needed to do. Mark Hughes stands on the edge of the technical area, his hands in his pockets. His body language suggests he's rather disgruntled with the way things have worked out. Back at the scene of so many of his successes as a player. He was a good player for United, wasn't he, for quite a long time, over 450 appearances for the club and a fair few medals too, as Zamora hustles and tussles with Vidic a little over enthusiastically. It's Manchester United's goal.
Yes, Mark Hughes is just the type of player Fulham could have done with today in that sort of scenario. That little bit of steel and a bit of bite up front, really, as much as anything else. Just test them. I don't think the back four have been tested enough, Manchester United, but you've got to give them credit because they've got the ability to get in the right place at the right time.
Michael Owen now for Manchester United through the centre, 35 yards out, it's Scholes to the edge of the penalty area in Berbatov to his left, to the byline, to Fabio in towards the near post. It's scooped away by Salcedo. It was Michael Owen trying to get his head on it, and Fulham did well to get the ball away. It's played square by Zoltan Gira, collected by Dempsey, lay off to Greening. Greening hasn't played much in the first team this season. He's getting a few minutes here at Old Trafford. Now it's with Kakuta, shirt hanging out, right hand side, sun still shining, a little more weakly than it was earlier on in the afternoon. 2-0 down Fulham here. Will there be a late flurry? Not sure about that, as Baird sends it high into the box and Kuszak gathers comfortably under pressure from Gira.
Yes, good midfield playing again, once again, build up all right. Fulham, if a little slow really, as much as anything else. To get against Manchester United, they need to speed up the move really from back to front, and I think that's one of the problems that Mark Hughes will talk about to his players today. They've had a lot of possession, but the build up really has been a little bit slow.
We're in added time at the end of this game now. Chelsea 1, Wigan Athletic 0. These are all latest scores. Bolton 3, West Ham 0. Blackburn 1, Birmingham 1. Sunderland 2, West Brom 3. Tottenham 3, Stoke City 2. Celtic are winning 1-0 at home to St Mirren in the SPL. The Championship leaders Queen's Park Rangers are being thrashed 4-1 at Scunthorpe. Doncaster 1, Cardiff 1. Millwall 3, Leeds 1. Forest 2, Reading 3. They're all latest scores. And Crawley are winning 3-0 at Tamworth, which means that Crawley Napoli are going to be promoted to the Football League today for the very first time in their history. There's been a goal at Doncaster Rovers. Dave Woods.
Massive goal. Doncaster 1, Cardiff 2. Jason Kumas has only been on the pitch for a matter of minutes. On from the bench, a free kick on the edge of the penalty area, curled it over the wall and beyond the goalkeeper Gary Woods. The Cardiff fans have gone berserk. It's Doncaster 1, Cardiff 2.
Thanks, Dave. As Clint Dempsey loses the ball just outside the Manchester United penalty area. The stadium is only about 3/4 full, over 75,000 in here today for this one, but many of them feel the points are in the bag and they're heading for their car just 2 or 3 minutes before the final whistle as United push forward on the right hand side. Southampton now 2-0 up at Leyton Orient. Lee Barnard with the second goal for Saints. The last time we heard Huddersfield were losing, I think so Southampton would join Brighton in the automatic promotion positions. Brighton were 2-0 up on Sheffield Wednesday the last time we heard. Baird on the right hand side now for Fulham. Low ball in towards the edge of the penalty area. Scholes is there, and Manchester United have done enough today, haven't they, Jimmy? You sense that had Fulham come back at them, United could have delved into their box of tricks or maybe gone up a gear or two.
They needed the goal really, either just after the break, but more importantly I felt really in the earlier part of the match, and they went for it and they just couldn't sustain it, and consequently they got punished. But I was looking at the league table just now. Manchester United have dropped 2 points at home all season. Only one team's got a draw here, and consequently, you know, it was always going to be a difficult match for Fulham anyway. But Manchester United are striding on here, and you must be wondering now who's going to catch them.
And Mike Jones blows the final whistle. Mission accomplished for Manchester United. They have won by 2-0 here against Fulham. They're 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League. There's a late penalty at the City Ground. Pat Murphy.
To Nottingham Forest, they're losing 3-2. Gunter brought down an exaggerated dive. Reading absolutely furious. It's been a very, very difficult day, this one, for the referee, Mr. Pawson. It's going to be taken by Lewis McGugan. How important will this be for Forest playoff hopes? They're trailing 3-2 with just a few minutes to go. Everybody settled. McGugan, he didn't take the first penalty in the first half. Boyd took it, but Boyd is off now, and here comes Lewis McGugan. 3-2 down, up now, and he scored. Equalised, sent the keeper the wrong way. Forest 3, Reading 3.
Here the players just leaving the field, Jimmy Armfield, and a significant step for Manchester United towards winning the title here. Just the 6 matches to go. Their lead is into double figures now, and also looking good for Tuesday's Champions League match with Chelsea.
Yeah, it was a perfect match for them, this. When you think there was no Rooney, no Giggs, no Ferdinand, no Carrick, no Park in this lineup, but they still look good. They've got the players, of course, to come in and do the job, and today it was Nani and Berbatov and Valencia up front, always giving Fulham problems. Big win for Manchester United this today.
Big win for Manchester United. Typical Fulham away from home. Not bad, but not good enough to get any points on the road. It's still just 1 win away from home for them this season. The final score at Old Trafford here, thanks to goals in the first half from Dimitar Berbatov and Luis Antonio Valencia. Manchester United 2, Fulham 0.